Is China truly an economic powerhouse, or is this a grand illusion? This question often stirs up quite a debate, and rightfully so. China's economic growth over the past few decades has been nothing short of a spectacle, capturing the world's attention and sparking a myriad of conversations. When one thinks of China, a few things typically come to mind. A vast population, for one. With over 1 billion people, China's immense populace is often seen as a driving force behind its economic prowess. It's a simple equation, really. More people equates to more consumers and more workers, stimulating both demand and supply. Then there's the gargantuan manufacturing sector, a sight to behold. China is often dubbed the world's factory, producing everything from the tiniest microchips to the largest industrial machinery. This manufacturing behemoth not only fuels domestic growth, but also caters to global demand, making China a pivotal player in international trade. And let's not forget about the rapid urbanization. Cities have sprung up at an astonishing rate, transforming rural landscapes into sprawling metropolises almost overnight. These urban areas have become hubs of economic activity, attracting investment and creating jobs, thus fueling China's economic engine. This narrative paints a picture of China as an unstoppable economic juggernaut, a country that has seemingly cracked the code to sustained growth. It's a perception that's firmly etched into our collective consciousness, and one that's perpetuated by impressive GDP figures and awe-inspiring infrastructure projects. But is this the whole truth, or are we missing some pieces of the puzzle? As with any story, there's more than meets the eye. In the following scenes, we'll delve deeper into this narrative, scrutinizing the myths and realities of China's economic growth. So stick around as we unravel the intricate tapestry of China's economy, separating fact from fiction. There are several myths that surround China's economic growth. One such myth is the concept of China's unstoppable growth. The idea that China's economy is on a relentless upward trajectory with no end in sight is widely spread. However, it's important to remember that economies, like everything else in nature, have a rhythm. They expand, contract, and sometimes even stagnate. While China has indeed been on an impressive upward curve for several decades, it's not immune to the natural ebb and flow of economic cycles. The economic slowdown that China has been experiencing in recent years is a testament to this fact. Another common myth is the perceived infallibility of China's government-led economy. This myth holds that China's economic success is primarily due to its government's strategic planning and control over its economy. While the government's role cannot be understated, it's also important to recognize that the Chinese economy is a complex system with many moving parts. It's influenced by myriad factors, including global trade, technological advancements, and demographic shifts. No one entity, not even a powerful government, can control all these elements flawlessly. Lastly, there's the assumption that China will inevitably overtake the United States as the world's largest economy. This belief, while not entirely unfounded, should be taken with a grain of caution. The future is inherently uncertain and depends on a multitude of variables. It's true that China's economy has been growing at a rapid pace, but it's also true that the United States continues to be a powerhouse of innovation and technological advancement. The race is far from over, and the outcome is anything but certain. The reality is that China's economic growth, while impressive, is not a foregone conclusion. It is subject to the same laws of economics that govern all economies. It is influenced by a multitude of factors, many of which are outside the control of the Chinese government. And it is by no means certain that China will overtake the United States as the world's largest economy. As you can see, the reality is far more complex than the myths would suggest. Now, let's dive into the realities of China's economic growth. While it's true that China has experienced a meteoric rise to become the world's second largest economy, this growth hasn't come without its fair share of challenges. Let's peel back the layers and take a closer look at the real issues that are shaping the trajectory of China's economic future. Firstly, there's the issue of an aging population. The one-child policy, in effect from 1979 to 2015, has resulted in a skewed population pyramid. Today, China is facing the reality of having to support a rapidly aging population with a shrinking workforce. This demographic challenge poses a significant threat to the sustainability of economic growth. Next, we have the rising labor costs. China's economic success story was built on the back of cheap labor. However, as living standards improve, wages have begun to rise. This has led to a decrease in the competitiveness of Chinese products in the global market, adding another layer of complexity to the economic scenario. Environmental issues, too, cannot be ignored. With rapid industrialization, China has paid a hefty environmental price. Air and water pollution, soil degradation, and biodiversity loss are pressing issues that require substantial resources to address, potentially diverting funds away from economic development. Lastly, there's the looming risk of a property market crash. China's real estate sector, a major driving force of the economy, has been showing signs of a bubble. If it bursts, the ripple effect could be catastrophic for the country's economy. These realities, from an aging population and increasing labor costs to environmental concerns and a precarious property market, are the challenges that China must navigate as it continues on its path to economic prosperity. These realities paint a more nuanced picture of China's economic growth. Far from a smooth upward trajectory, China's economic journey is a complex tapestry woven with both successes and challenges. It's a story that continues to evolve, and one that we'll continue to watch with keen interest. So what does the future hold for China's economy? As we gaze into the crystal ball of economic forecasting, we see a myriad of possible scenarios. The future of China's economy is a canvas yet to be painted, and the brushes are held by innovation, technology, and domestic consumption. In the sphere of innovation, China is no longer playing catch-up, it's leading the race. With a burgeoning tech sector, China is transforming from a copycat economy to a global innovation powerhouse. It's not just about producing more, it's about producing smarter. Technology, the magic wand of the 21st century, is another game changer. From artificial intelligence to e-commerce, China is harnessing the power of technology to turbocharge its economic engine. The country's digital economy is a giant leap into the future, creating new industries, jobs, and opportunities. And let's not forget about domestic consumption. As the middle class expands, so does their appetite for goods and services. This shift towards a consumption-driven economy is a significant pivot from the export-oriented model of the past. With over 1 billion consumers, the potential for growth is staggering. But of course, the road to prosperity is not without its potholes. Like any economy, China faces its share of risks and uncertainties. From the challenges of an aging population to the pressures of environmental sustainability, the path forward is not without hurdles. Moreover, the global economic landscape is fluid, and geopolitical tensions could throw a spanner in the works. Uncertainty is the only certainty in the world of economics. So as we peer into the future, it's crucial to remember that while potential abounds, so does unpredictability. We must be prepared for a roller coaster ride of economic highs and lows, of triumphs and trials. While China's economic future is not set in stone, it's clear that the reality is far more complex than the myths suggest. It's a story still being written, a journey still being traveled, and a future still being shaped. So there you have it. China's economic growth, myth versus reality. We've delved into the intricacies of this towering economic powerhouse, unraveling the layers of myths and realities that color our understanding. From the myth of an unstoppable economic juggernaut, we've discovered a nuanced reality of both rapid growth and significant challenges. We've seen how China's economy is not just a monolithic entity, but a complex tapestry woven from multiple threads: industry, technology, rural development, and global trade, to name a few. We've also shed light on the reality that it's not all smooth sailing. There are economic hurdles, demographic shifts, and environmental concerns, all part of the bigger picture. In the face of these complexities, it's vital to understand that China's economic growth is not a simple tale of rise or fall. It's a dynamic, evolving narrative filled with both triumphs and trials, painting a rich, multifaceted picture. It's time we look beyond the myths and understand the realities of China's economic growth. Only then can we truly appreciate the intricacies of this economic powerhouse.